StraightOlay.com.
Turning browsers into buyers. Many of you watching this, I hope actually, that most of you consider yourselves to be salespeople, because we are all salespeople. We are all selling something. If you have a job, you are selling your boss on you keeping the job. If you're an entrepreneur, you're selling all day, every day to everyone who's coming across your stuff, whether it's online, such as your website, or it's you personally with the way that you present yourself, if you're an influencer or something of that nature. And if you're in a relationship, you're selling yourself to whoever you are with in the relationship. If you're single, you're selling yourself to all the single people out there, or the people out there who are looking for someone like you. So we are all selling. And the point here is that a good salesperson turns a browser into a buyer. And if you ever walked into a store, like I just walked into this retail store yesterday. I used to work in retail. And I walked into this retail store, they were selling clothes. It was like urban clothing. So they have those shorts, t-shirts, these like fancy print shorts, t-shirts, and this is high-end stuff. So like $50 t-shirts and $100 shorts. They got all these shoes that cost like $500, $800, that kind of store. Y'all know about these stores. So I walk in the store, and there's this girl in there. There's a couple guys working. There's a girl there. Girl walks up. Anything in particular you're looking for? I was like, no, just looking. And she told me about a couple of the specials, and these things are 10% off, and et cetera, et cetera. Said, anything you need, just let me know. And I said, all right, cool, thank you. Didn't say anything else to her, didn't buy anything. Eventually walked out of the store, thanks, see you later, and left. All right, this is what most people do when they're in business, period. I'm using retail as an example, but this is what people do when they're in business, period, and they call themselves salespeople. What that girl was doing, I don't think she was doing it with negative intentions, but that is not selling. I don't know what you want to call that. That is not selling. Selling is when you get people to share with you what they're looking for, what they are interested in, why they even are looking at your stuff in the first place. You get them to share, and then based on the things that they are showing or sharing with you, you continue the conversation and eventually move them to a position where they may actually be open to buying something. Now, when I walked in this store yesterday, I'll tell you a little bit more of the story. I had my son with me. He's 2 years old. He wanted to actually go in the store. I didn't want to go in the store. I can see what they're selling from walking past it from outside. I know it's not anything in there that I'm in the market to buy. Not for me. But my son wanted to go in there. Just the fact that I walked in there gives them the possibility that I might buy something. Now, how would that be? Well, it depends on the questions that the woman asked me. She asked me a cookie cutter question that most quote unquote salespeople ask, which is, are you looking for anything in particular? And then she told me about the specials. I was not looking for anything in particular, and I don't give a damn about the specials because I wasn't really about to buy anything. What she should have done is ask some better quality questions. Good salespeople, ladies and gentlemen, just to help you all out. And again, doesn't matter what you're selling. You could be working in a retail store. You could be selling high end. You could be selling Bentleys. Okay. A good salesperson's job is to ask good questions, not to give information, not to tell people about the specials, not to go get a size 13 from the back because somebody wants to try a shoe on. A fucking robot can do that. A computer can do that. And those of you who sell, quote unquote, sell in this way, you are going to be replaced by a fucking robot, by a touch screen within the next 2 years if this is all you bring to the table, right? That girl, the way she's, quote unquote, sold yesterday, she's not going to have a job in a year. It's not even going to be a year, as a matter of fact. She won't have a job very soon because that is not selling. A good salesperson takes a person who is maybe not interested in buying or doing anything and somehow, some way gets them interested in buying and doing something. And again, not because you are convincing them, not because you are dazzling people with your verbiage, but because you open them up through the questions that you ask and your active listening. In other words, your questions are based on their answers, the things they're telling you, and the stuff that you pick up on leads to the next thing that you say, et cetera, et cetera. That's how you move people forward. And also, assuming that people are coming into and looking at your stuff for a reason. People are coming in for a reason. Somebody walks into your store and they say, I'm just looking. They're not just looking. And maybe they are looking, but they're not just looking, because if they were just looking, they could look without coming to the store. Why are they coming to the store? They came in the store because there's something that intrigued them, something that interests them, something that they might do if a salesperson would help them out. So what people actually, let me back up. I'll correct myself. People are just looking when they walk into a business. You know what they're looking for? A salesperson. They're looking for a salesperson. They're looking for someone to actually help them make a buying decision or get closer to a buying decision if they weren't even thinking about a buying decision before they walked in the first place. The problem is many of you don't know how to sell, and you are terrible salespeople. That's why you're not selling anything. You may have people buy from you, but you're not selling anything. There's a difference. If I work at Whole Foods, which is where I'm going to go actually today on this trip. If I work at Whole Foods and I stand at the register and people come through the register with their shopping carts and I scan all your stuff and take the money, did I technically sell something? Kind of, sort of, I did. That girl in the store I told you about yesterday, if I would have bought a couple t-shirts and a pair of sneakers, did she sell me anything? No, she didn't sell me shit. I bought it. But she might get some commission for the sale, even though she didn't sell shit. Again, I could have made that sale. I could say the same thing she said. I could read a script. You can tell me every time somebody walks in, ask them, can I help you with anything? And you recite what the specials are. Anybody can do that. A 2-year-old, well, maybe not a 2-year-old because they can't quite talk so well. A 5-year-old can do that. This girl was a grown adult. What do they need her for? Whatever they're paying her is a waste of money. The point being, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a real salesperson, you have to take a situation that looks like nothing's going to happen and you got to turn it into something happening. This starts with a mindset. It starts with a mentality that you are actually going to do this. And once you develop this mindset and you have this ingrained as a mindset, the next thing you do is you go and develop the tools to actually make it happen. Once you have the mindset that I'm going to do ABC, the next thing is, well, wait a minute, I'm going to do ABC, but I have no idea how to do ABC. I don't have the resources to do ABC. So where do I go? What do I have to do? What do I need to learn? What steps do I need to take in order to be positioned to do ABC? All right, that's the next thing that you have to do, which is find out what are the resources necessary in order to get it. That's when you go and get the tools and you actually learn how to sell, rather than just saying that I'm going to be a salesperson, but you're not doing anything to actually sell. So again, the mindset that I want you to take from this, if you take one idea from it, it should be somewhere in the title of this video, is that an actual salesperson turns a browser into a buyer. So what are you? Are you a salesperson or are you just an order taker? So there's a lot of order takers out here, which is kind of like, again, you go to a restaurant, there's a waiter or waitress who'll come up to your table and they'll take the order and they'll bring you the stuff, and they might even get a tip at the end of the meal if you're nice enough to give them one, even though they didn't really earn it because they didn't do shit. All they did was take your order and bring you the food. Did they sell you anything? Did they get you to buy something that you otherwise were not going to buy had they not walked up? Had you been able to place your order through your phone or through a screen on the table, would you have ordered the exact same things with the screen on the table as you did with the person, the waiter or the waitress? If the answer is yes, then the waiter or waitress didn't earn any money. They didn't do anything. They shouldn't even be getting paid. So if you run a restaurant, and you should be asking yourself this question: would my customers who come into my restaurant order the exact same stuff and spend the exact same amount of money if they got to order their food by just pushing some buttons on a screen as opposed to talking to the waiter or the waitress? If the answer is yes, you should fire all your wait staff and let people just order like that, and then just have an order runner, a food runner, bring the food from the kitchen to the tables, and now you don't even have to ask the customers to leave a tip because there's no person to give a tip to, and you don't have to worry about people calling in sick, training them how to do their jobs, people messing up orders, any of that stuff, because now you got computers there and computers don't make mistakes. So those of you who are in these positions of, first of all, being in charge of these folks, you need to be taking stock of if they're actually bringing any value to the table. And the inconvenient truth of many of you who are the workers, not for the owners. For owners, this is good. Inconvenient truth is many of them are bringing no value to the table. They should be fired because you're wasting money paying them something that you could get a computer, replace them. You don't have to pay the computer every 2 weeks. And for those of you who are in the positions of being workers, you're about to get replaced by a computer. I'm not talking some 20 years from now. I'm talking like in the next 20 months. You're about to get replaced by a computer because you ain't bringing shit to the table. So if you want to learn how to sell, here's what I suggest you do. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Not only will you learn how to sell something like some damn t-shirts in some urban clothing store, but you'll learn how to sell things that are of much higher value for much more money to people who will truly appreciate them, and not just throw them in a hamper like they do a t-shirt or a pair of shorts. So workonyourgameuniversity.com. That link is in the description to this video. Work on your game. Dre all day.